Thoracic vertebrae are unique because they're the only vertebrae that gets attached to the ribs and have the overlapping spinous processes. Their functionality remains the same in providing framework, maintaining posture, and protecting our spinal cord. I hope you want to learn more on the osteology of the thoracic spine, so let's jump into it. Like other vertebrae, a typical thoracic vertebrae has a body, lamina, pedicles, spine, and transverse process. As we know, these vertebrae are articulating with the ribs. So for that purpose, we have a superior costal demifacet articulating with the corresponding rib and inferior costal demifacet for the inferior rib. The body is heart-shaped, with anterior-posterior diameter being the same as from side to side. The vertebral foramen is comparatively small and circular in shape. The pedicles are directed backwards. Now coming to these transverse processes that are directed laterally and backwards from the junction of the pedicles and laminae. Anteriorly, it bears a facet for articulation with the corresponding vertebrae. These are the lamina fusing backwards to form a spine, which is long and directing downwards and backwards. From cervical vertebrae 5th to 9th, these spines are the longest. The superior vertebral notch is deeper than the inferior one, much appreciated on a lateral view. So these are all the important bony landmarks. Now coming to the vertebral arch, which is the most important feature, and as the name is indicating, we're using this term for this whole arch over here. Let's imagine a pretty lady named Lily arching for her belly dance competition. To make those postures, she's making the use of her thoracic spine the most. So you can relate to this lady, and this is going to help you remember the different articulating features on the thoracic vertebrae. The mnemonic Pretty Lily tries so much will help you remember the different bony landmarks on a thoracic vertebrae, such as the P stands for pedicles over here, L stands for laminae, T stands for the transverse process, and S stands for the spine. Easy, right? In your professional exams, you might get to identify a vertebrae. The examiner might ask you that to which particular region a vertebrae belongs to. Now keep in mind these three basic points. The presence of the costal facets is an identification feature with some variability. Another feature is the heart-shaped body, which will help you identify the thoracic vertebrae. The presence of the pointed, obliquely placed spinous processes. So these were the distinguishing features of a typical thoracic vertebrae, and now I'll be emphasizing on the atypical varieties of the thoracic region.